about 7 weeks ago. So my testimony was I went out to lunch with a friend of mine, and he said, and he started chewing on these things, and I was like, what are you doing? And he said, oh, they're sugar blockers. And I said, yeah, right. As a type 1 diabetic, we've been waiting a long time, right, for a cure or something. So people try to sell us stuff all the time because that's exactly what we want. We want to be cured, right? So he's like, no, they work, Sherry, they really work. And I said, you know what? Give me what you have left, in your bottle. I'll do you a favor. Not me a favor, but I'll do you a favor. I said, I can check this in real time. So he says, what do you mean? I said, I'll check my blood sugar. I'll eat candy. I'll drink soda. I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll do it all. I will absolutely do my due diligence. So I brought it home, looked it over, and I said, you know what, I got to do the right thing. I have to do what I told him I was going to do. So I went to the store. I went and bought a Three Musketeer. One of them big ones. I didn't go for the little one. I thought, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to go big, right? So I got a big Three Musketeer. I looked, and I chew one of these. I took 2 because that's what it required. I do 1 for every 10 grams of sugar. I know it says up to 20, but that's what I do. So anyways, I chew these. I checked my blood sugar. It was like 92. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like 92. I took a couple of these. I chewed them up. I waited about 20 minutes. I ate that Three Musketeer. I just enjoyed it till like you can't even imagine. It was just like so great. And then, then about 20 minutes later, the test of time, I went and I checked my blood sugar again. And I just like stood and stared at the meter. It did not move. It did not elevate my blood sugar at all. And I'm like, okay, like this is pretty wild, but I still didn't believe it. So I checked this. I drank a Coca-Cola, and it has 39 grams of sugar. So I chewed 4 of these. And for some reason, because on the bottle it says high fructose corn syrup, but for some reason it did not elevate my blood sugar at all. In fact, it lowered it by 2 points. So I'm not sure what's happening, but I've checked this with ice cream. I've checked it with candy. I've checked it with frosting. I've checked it with everything that we're not allowed to eat. I checked it, and I have to tell you, it's life-changing.
Mm-hmm.
It's so life-changing.
It's life-changing.
And, whoa, this is where I go, I have a son who's diabetic, type 1. He's had it since he's 1. And we all get emotional when we talk about kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but I remember going to his birthday parties at school because you have to acknowledge them, right? Everybody has to acknowledge a birthday party. So you come in and you're bringing the cupcakes and the cookies and all that stuff. But what you don't notice, or what, of course, the parent would notice, all these kids are enjoying this birthday party, right? But my son is sitting there just watching because he can't have it. So he takes this every day, takes it all the time. His blood sugars are great. I wish I had this product when he was smaller. I'm reaching out to diabetic children now all over because my whole thing is we don't ask, I don't go out and say, eat a lot of sugar, you're type 1, go ahead and do it, here's a free-for-all. But it's about being in that moment, where they can participate in their own party, they can enjoy it, they don't feel different than everybody else. A lot of people don't realize that when kids are diabetic, the emotional and strain that's on the parents and on the child. Because most kids will go like, oh, I'm okay with it. But really, they're not okay with it. And that's what people have to understand. They're not okay with it. So if you know anybody that's type 1, this has become personal to me. This is like my mission. I'm around the globe. I'm Skyping every day with people all over the world because they've kind of taken on the Western world, the way that we eat. But this is so passionate to me. And again, this is my mission, that if you know anybody, and I really talk about type 1 because we're the ones that cannot cure ourselves. We can't do anything. You have to share this. If nothing else, give them the information. Let people make the decision for themselves. But when it comes to children, and it comes to the obesity and the type 1, and they're so, now juvenile diabetes goes up to the age of 45. I mean, we need to stop it, and we need to stop it now. Again, I've been on this for 7 weeks, and people have said to me, well, how much weight have you lost? Well, I've only lost 3 pounds, right? So I'm going like, I don't know, but the inches are falling off. And so I'm talking to a doctor, and he says to me, well, do you think because it's going into your large intestines, and it's breaking down the fat, and it's passing through your body, do you think that's it? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm worried about the high blood sugar spikes. I'm not worried about that. But in 7 weeks, I've gone down 2 pant sizes. So when you think of, like, you can't see it here because I didn't, it's a great thing. And that's what happens is what it's doing is it's breaking down the fat around your vital organs. So you don't really see it. Like when you go to the, when you pee or when you go to the bathroom or whatever, you don't notice it. You know what I'm saying? But what it's doing is breaking down that fat, which is going to help everybody. So it's just an incredible, incredible product.
Sherrie,
I love it.
Can you, is your son?
Oh, and I reduced my insulin. This is a big one. This is a big one. I take a nighttime. My son and I are on the same regimen. We take a nighttime that lasts us 24 hours. It's a long lasting. And then what we do is we're on a sliding scale for the fast acting. So it goes by total carbs. But now, since we take out the sugar, that's part of the total carbs, we reduce our insulin. I've actually gone days where I have not had to take any fast-acting insulin at all. I chew 1 tablet every 3 hours because it stays in your body for 3 hours. I want to make sure this is in my body 24/7. It's just that great. And I actually reduced my fast-acting insulin by about 70%. So
that's great.
And it's life-changing. It's just so life-changing.
Is your son eating cheesecakes finally?
And my son is really enjoying. My son has kind of gotten a little bit hooked on Cherry Coke, which again I don't promote, but he found these. He found 4 of these that work. He found 4 that it doesn't raise his blood sugar. And for a parent, he's 23. He's an adult. He's going to do what he wants to do, but he understands that he can have that pleasure now without the high blood sugar spike, which is what causes really the most problems in everybody's body. It's not about maintaining the blood sugar. It's when it spikes up and keeps going like this. That's where you run into all the difficulties.
You're saying he's having a normal life now, or beginning to.
Yeah, well, he's always had a normal life, but they always have to give themselves so much insulin, and they have to do all the coverage for it. So now with this, depending upon what he's doing, he's able to reduce the insulin. My goal for him and for myself, really for both of us, is to go all day long with no fast-acting insulin and just take our nighttime until somebody comes up with a cure that, like, we don't even have to do any of it. That's what I would really like. So, thank you.
Yeah.
And like I said, my testimony is like it's so personal to me because I can't believe I tripped over this. I did it as a favor for somebody and it's just changed my life and changed the life of a lot of diabetics that I know. And people will say, is that a diabetic product? No. It's a product for everybody because everybody does it. But a diabetic, especially a type 1, more so than a type 2, can check it all in real time. You know what I mean? Like, you chew it, you eat, 20 minutes later you check it. I've tried it with chocolate-covered marshmallows. I mean, I'm having a good time.
Hello.
I mean, I'm not going to lie and say, like, I'm not eating all this stuff because I'm really, like, enjoying it. But it was going through the due diligence, and that's what people need to do. You need to do your due diligence. You need to evaluate the product. And, again, if you know anybody that's diabetic, everybody knows here, like, my phone is open. I'm out there. I'm ready for anybody that's diabetic, to help them, just to change your life, get back quality life.
Let's give her a hand, guys.
Very powerful. Thank you, Ms. Sherrie.